Emily awoke the next morning to the sound of birds chirping, a stark contrast to the previous night's turmoil. The house felt lighter, almost welcoming. She wandered the hallways, her footsteps echoing softly against the hardwood floors. The portraits seemed to smile down at her now, their eyes no longer filled with sadness or anger. As she made her way to the library, a sense of unease began to creep back in. The ancient book she had found in the attic still lay on the table, its leather cover worn and its pages filled with cryptic symbols. She felt drawn to it, compelled to continue reading. But a part of her hesitated, fearing what other secrets it might reveal. With a deep breath, Emily opened the book. The pages turned of their own accord, stopping at a passage that seemed to glow with an ethereal light. The words were written in a language she couldn't understand, but they seemed to pulse with power, urging her to read aloud. She hesitated, then began to speak the words. As she read, a chill filled the room. The air grew heavy, and the shadows seemed to deepen. The book began to vibrate, the symbols glowing brighter. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the library, extinguishing the candles and slamming the door shut. Emily's heart raced as she continued to read, the words flowing from her lips like a chant. The room around her started to change. The walls seemed to dissolve, revealing a vast, dark forest. The air was thick with fog, and the only sound was the distant howl of wolves. Emily found herself standing in the middle of the forest, the ancient book still in her hands. She looked around, trying to make sense of what was happening. The forest felt alive, as if it were watching her, waiting for her next move. She took a tentative step forward, the ground soft and damp beneath her feet. The trees loomed above her, their branches twisted and gnarled, like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. As she ventured deeper into the forest, she felt a presence following her. She turned, but saw nothing. The feeling of being watched grew stronger, and she quickened her pace, the book clutched tightly to her chest. The fog thickened, obscuring her vision, but she pressed on, driven by a sense of urgency. Finally, she reached a clearing. In the center stood a massive stone monolith, covered in the same cryptic symbols as the book. Emily approached it, feeling a strange connection to the ancient stone. She placed her hand on its surface, and the symbols began to glow, just as they had in the book. The ground beneath her feet rumbled, and the monolith began to shift. A door appeared at its base, opening slowly to reveal a hidden chamber. Emily hesitated for only a moment before stepping inside. The chamber was small and dimly lit, the air cool and musty. At the center of the chamber was a pedestal, and on it rested a crystal glowing with a soft inner light. Emily approached it, feeling a sense of awe and trepidation. She reached out and touched the crystal, and a voice filled the chamber. "You have broken the curse," the voice said, echoing off the stone walls. "But the darkness has not yet been vanquished. There is still much to be done." Emily nodded, a sense of determination filling her. She knew her journey was far from over. The ancient book had led her here, and it would guide her further. She would uncover the mysteries of her family's past and put an end to the darkness that had plagued them for centuries. With the crystal in hand, Emily stepped out of the chamber and back into the forest. The fog had lifted, and the first light of dawn was breaking through the trees. She took a deep breath, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. The path ahead was uncertain, but she was ready to face whatever challenges lay in wait. As she made her way back to the mansion, the ancient book tucked safely under her arm, Emily knew one thing for certain: she would not rest until the last shadow had been dispelled and her family's legacy restored to its rightful place.